Merry Christmas, everybody! Pre-recorded on Christmas Eve, part 6 of What If Naruto had Hyōrinmaru for his Zanpakuto. We basically went through the remainder of part 1. There was no Sasuke retrieval arc. Sasuke didn't go with Orochimaru. He did consider it, but he ultimately backed away from it. We also talked a little bit about what Naruto was learning. Sasuke obviously is training under Kakashi. Now, I will say something about Sasuke, because it's important to understand where strength-wise he should lie right now. In the original, when Sasuke left the Orochimaru, not only had he been now training with the curse mark for years, could use that pretty actively, and had a much larger chakra reserve, all that, he also took a lot of drugs and not experiments, but we know for a fact there was he was juicing, more or less. There we know for a fact Orochimaru had helped him in that method. So he did have a lot of more ants. What those ants really were, I'm not 100% sure what the drugs did. If I were to guess, increase his chakra control. Probably gave him some immunity to poisons, because we never actually see Sasuke get poisoned. Maybe give him a bit more stamina. I don't know exactly what the drugs did, but we do know he got a bunch of drugs in him. So this Sasuke how is he different? Well, A, he doesn't have the curse mark, obviously. B, he's probably, to compensate with Naruto, trained a lot harder in different ways. His chakra reserves, for example, are probably huge compared to what they started with. Would I say they're greater than his Shippuden counterpart? Let's put it this way. I'd say it's probably greater than his base level, but he does not have the amp the curse mark gives him, so he can't boost it beyond. I think that's a fair trade-off right there. He's also got, God knows how many skills. Kakashi certainly would have given him sword training, definitely. He's also probably gotten a lot more of lightning release down, given he created the Chidori variants that he had in the original. Now, Kirin is the one ability that we do have to ask the question on, does he have? Because he clearly, we don't know if he created Kirin. He created I can never remember what it's called, but is the dragon head fire attack that created the clouds. Did he create that technique too, or is that a technique that he picked up from Orochimaru? Either way, is it possible that he could still get couldn't get but could he get Kirin in this version? Possible? Absolutely. Likely? Ugh. That's hard to say, because Sasuke spent nothing but all his time training with Orochimaru, whereas here he would still probably take breaks to actually interact with Sakura, his teammate, all that. But he's training harder to compensate, for Naruto, his rival. I'll say that just for the sake of a little bit easier storytelling, he does have Kirin under his belt, so he can use it. Is he dating Sakura at this point? No, I don't think he's. I think him and Sakura are actually on really good terms here. He's come to terms with the fact he has been a bit of an ass with Sakura. He apologizes at some point. They're on really good terms, and I think he does actually feel affection with her. Obviously, he fell in love with her, allegedly, when she said she'd go with him out of the village, when he was going to abandon the village. That doesn't happen here, so a little bit more time has probably happened for Sasuke to maybe realize his feelings for Sakura. Maybe near the end of the 3 years, that's the case. Anyway, we catch up to Naruto and Jiraiya coming back to the village. Now, Naruto, obviously I got Shippuden Naruto down here. I've had him since the beginning of the thumbnail, or the beginning of the What If. Is Naruto in the same attire? I think mostly. I do like the idea, though, of him having, maybe not a sage cloak, but perhaps a cloak similar to the captains of the 13 Court Guard Squad. They're Hyoris, which is long, basically white trench coats, except his is probably the red to go with the orange, and it's a little bit baggier. I imagine it's also maybe missing some sleeves, or it's got a very mild sleeve right there. It probably doesn't have the flames. It probably just has maybe a pattern that says has the Kajin for ice on there. Naruto, unfortunately, is not going to stay short. Oh, God. Okay, he's not going to stay short. Someone did say it'd be funny if he stayed short. But no, there's influences of the previous wielder, whatever that character would be, on Naruto, absolutely. But I'm not going to hinder Naruto's height just to make him look like Toshiro. I will say, though, one thing to make him look more like Toshiro is the idea that more of his hair has probably gone like silver white. So it's now starting to look more like a goldish silver than just like straight gold, because there was like strands of silver laced in his blonde. Now he's looking more just metallic, like almost like if you could make gold ice, that's kind of what Naruto's hair is kind of looking like right now. On not quite not translucent, mind you, but still that very luscious, luscious, very lustrous look. So now Naruto's also matured up quite a bit with Hyōrinmaru. Unfortunately, now that the seal is now a lot looser, Hyōrinmaru is really keeping an eye on Naruto to make sure he can keep his emotions in check. That was one of the things Hyōrinmaru really stressed once he realized that the Fox's chakra was starting to kind of get a little too hectic in there. Naruto, though, still got Naruto in him, so he gets into the village. Hello, come on back. It's like, Naruto? Oh, Sakura, hey! Hi, wow, you look great. Naruto, you look so mature. Tell me, do I look more womanly? And, obviously, Naruto's an idiot. You look just the same as always, Sakura. Yeah, you idiot. And then, obviously, Konohamaru just like, check it out, boss! You gotta try new jutsu. Like this, my new incredible sexy jutsu. You idiot! So, yeah. Then, obviously, we learned more about what's happened over the time. Gaara still became Kazekage. We know that Shikamaru, Kankuro, and Temari are Jonin. Sasuke, I do think also would gain Jonin as well. I think that makes sense for his character to try to be excelling, try to be doing better. Now, he doesn't have his Mangekyo yet. There's nothing. That's one thing we should know, that in these training missions, these scenarios where Sasuke is in the village training with Kakashi, and like I said, he also learned taijutsu from Guy too. I think that you give Sasuke Guy level taijutsu, well, he doesn't have Guy level taijutsu, but you give him like Guy style, and then you add the Sharingan, you got a monster of an individual. And I bet he's even learned the 8 gates. Not all of them, mind you. In fact, he's probably not stupid enough to do that, and he's probably aware of it. But at least to the 4th gate, he can probably actually do a very basic Hidden Lotus. It probably took him a while to train doing that, and it broke his body several times. But as it stands, yeah, he can probably do it now. And it's still rough on his body, but he can get away with it now, because 3 years training is. You would not think that would be enough time, but. Hey, he's got Kakashi, Shadow Clones, he's got 3 years. And with Lee, he did it all in, what, a year? Because his grade was, his class was just a year behind Naruto. So the fact that Lee got to where he was in just a year, you give Sasuke that amount of time? Oh, he could get there. But he also knows that it's probably not as fit of a fighting style for him as some other fighting styles. So he definitely incorporates it, and he's certainly... willing to use the gates if he has to. If he pushes himself beyond the 4th gate, I think he'd wind up like Lee if he goes all the way to the 6th gate or beyond. Like, hypothetically, he could maybe open more gates. He just doesn't want to. That's the safe spot, the 4th gate for him. Anyway, so eventually, he was like, Sasuke became Jonin? Oh, come on. Wait, does that mean? That's right. You're technically the only I guess you're the only Genin around. So, And so they meet up. There's Kakashi, and then Sasuke shows up. Sasuke's attire. Does he just wear the standard Jonin outfit? That's a good question. Most of the Jonin, at least in the Leaf, do wear the standard attire. Kurenai doesn't. Kurenai wear a very different outfit. But Azuma, Kakashi, Guy, they all wore the standard Jonin, vest, blue, like whatever it is. I've heard it's called a rubber suit, but I don't think it's rubber. But would Sasuke wear that? I think Sasuke might wear a modified version of it. He maybe has a high collar like he has on his usual like we see with heavy or Taka, like that high collar, but it's like a blue or. Now I know what he would do. Sorry, I didn't think about his wardrobe, but it's important, I guess, just to know how you're viewing Sasuke in the story. He's wearing what he's wearing in that Naruto Road to Ninja movie, the alternate Sasuke, where he's got basically that high collar, short sleeve, like almost dress shirt, but he's got his ninja, mesh underneath there, and he wears his flak jacket over that. So I could see that happening. And Sasuke and Naruto kind of look at each other, and they kind of walk up to each other. Wow, you're looking good. You're good. For good. So it's been a while, Sasuke. So yeah, you're looking good, dweeb, for a Genin. It's like, oh, just because you they'd get, yeah, but you knew, well, I had to get out of the village. It's the only way you could make Jonin. I didn't want to upstage you. And it's just kind of like going back and forth till finally and they kind of just, did it's like, you son of a bitch. Dylan, you son of a bitch. But yeah, no, they do the whole, it's good to see you. And say, yeah, you too, dweeb. It's good to see you, Tim. You too, dweeb. So, all right, Team 7 is now fully reinstated. But we'd like to see just how much you've all progressed in the years. And so we're going to do a little test. And again, I never go through this because it's kind of really irrelevant to the overall story. It ends the same way every time. But I will say they would have to use not just Kakashi, but Guy as well, and maybe Azuma. I don't know if Kurenai was pregnant at this point. Was she on leave? I don't know. They probably wouldn't use Kurenai, though. Kurenai would not be suitable for this type of test. Maybe Azuma, if he's available. Or even like Jiraiya, maybe just show, all out. Or honestly, Guy and Kakashi alone could probably take them, to be honest. Sasuke doesn't have Mangekyo. There's no Sage Mode involved. Yeah, Sakura's dangerous, but she's still actually the weakest member of the team by a mile. So, I mean, weakest in the overall, not because physicality, she'd break both their spines in an instant. They can't compete with her as a healer. So long and short of it, they're still huffing and puffing. But they've had enough. They've seen enough, and they get the bell somehow. Gaara is kidnapped, and Team 7 is sent to rescue him. Now, keep in mind, we'll focus mostly on the Kazekage rescue arc in this one. Orochimaru, we're going to have to focus on for later. But just because Orochimaru's plans have to change because Sasuke was not there. Also, Danzo now can't get his grubby meat hooks into Team 7 because there's no vacancy. Yes, it's Shizune who did go to Danzo, go to the Council Elders to let them know what her concerns. And Tsunade, I think, did rightfully rip into her for it. And, I mean, she didn't really do much to punish her for it, but she still punished her a little bit. Like, at least Tsunade's like, that's enough. Yep, not talking to you, Shizune. Now get out of here. But without an extra map, without like an extra spot, the ability for Danzo to kind of affect Team 7 and keep an eye on there would be very minimal. Also, there's less of a reason for him to put Sai on the team. It was partially to get to Orochimaru and to assassinate Sasuke, but it was also to keep an eye on Naruto as well. There was two sides to that. I mean, one of them was the majority. I believe killing Sasuke was the majority reason, but still, there was two things going on there. And so we cut back to rescue mission. They go off. Obviously, we know Sakura and probably Sasuke at this point know Naruto is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. We know she did. But Sasuke would probably find out in soon. And Sasuke, talks about this when they're around the fire with Temari about, Naruto, I used to think I was jealous of you for a while. Honestly, I didn't know why they wanted you. What made you special? Was I not good enough for Itachi? Itachi, was he just belittling me? But now I know that you've been carrying a burden that none of us should have to carry. And it's like, as much as you piss me off, I respect you like hell for that. And I will fight with you till the end to keep you safe. Because you may be a dweeb, but you're also my best friend. And I will fight to keep the people that are precious to me in my life. And Sakura is just like, she kind of like, not like nuzzles up to him, but just kind of like boop, and just kind of like cozies up to him. And Sasuke, now like I said, Sasuke and Sakura are probably, let's use a number real quick. If on the scale of 1, they're never gonna date, or 10, they are dating. They're probably at the 8th point. Like they're on the verge of dating. So, and Sasuke's even become a little bit more affectionate with Sakura over the years as he's grown to accept that he actually has feelings for her. And so, he kind of puts his arm around her, kind of like holds her, and she just like. But I think they could have even had a conversation. Actually, that would be a really good thing to have if there was like a flashback where they had a conversation about Sakura admits like, Sasuke, you know how I feel about you, but I want to believe you and maybe you feel the same way, maybe you don't. But I'm gonna say I want you to make that decision on your own time. I will not pressure you. I will not pry or anything like that. And this is not her pressuring or prying. This is just her kind of like, And because she was that accepting and open to Sasuke about her feelings and his feelings, he's a lot more receptive and therefore kind of is just naturally growing more attached to her. So he's willing to just put his arm around her just to kind of hold her as kind of a comfort for both of them. And Naruto actually smiles and he sees this and goes, huh. And he gets a little sad because this Naruto would still like Sakura, at least to the level he did. But he also knows, like, I never had a shot with Sakura. And Hyōrinmaru even like talks like, look, it's not, you two probably would never have worked out. Yeah, I guess that's true. Besides, there's other, how would he put it? There's other whelps in the nest. What? It's dragons. Just don't worry about it. Or there's other shards in the snow in the blizzard. Either way, or other flakes in the blizzard. Yeah, there's other flakes in the blizzard. Yeah. I don't think we should use the term flakes to describe your dating options. But that's a great way to describe dating options in a different way. How was your date? It was a flake. They were such a flake. Anyway, so they end up arriving in the sand. Chiyo attacks. I think it could be either Sasuke or Naruto who blocks Chiyo. Sakura comes in, saves Kankuro. There you go. Now, and then obviously Team 9 shows up to aid them. And then they get to the fake Itachi and the fake Kasame. The fake Kasame goes the same, but the Itachi thing is like, hello, Naruto and Sasuke. It's Itachi. I see. I can tell there's something different. It's been a while, but I can tell there's something different about you. Your eyes, Sasuke, there is anger, there's resentment, but that hatred I saw so many years ago. Where is it? Could you never? I told you. I chose not to listen to you anymore, brother. I despise you for what you did, but I can't. But I will not become you. Oh, that you will never kill me, Sasuke. I told you, only your hate can kill me. But you didn't have enough. And I told you before, you never will. And so Itachi tries to put the Genjutsu on Naruto, but with Hyōrinmaru there, acting kind of like Kurama, he's able to just disrupt the Genjutsu. And Sasuke and Kakashi aren't affected here because they have the Sharingan. And really quickly, they take care of the fake. And obviously, Kakashi calls him out, Itachi, how much of your eyesight have you lost? And Sasuke doesn't flinch hearing this because this is something Kakashi's probably brought up, talking about the Mangekyo Sharingan. Hell, he's probably even seen Kakashi practice with the Mangekyo Sharingan before. So he knows about it very well, and he knows one day he may very well have it too. Unfortunately, this is not that day. So they take care of the fake Itachi, probably using a combination of Naruto using a Rasengan, maybe even a Great Ball Rasengan, or Naruto just stabbing him, freezing him, whatever, and it's revealed to be, was it Yoro? What was that his name? The fake Itachi. I don't actually remember what that character's name was. Not that it matters. Kind of irrelevant, really. And so Naruto and the gang go and make it to where Gaara's being extracted, which means they get there a little bit earlier, remove the seal. Gaara, it'd still be on death's door, but if, let's say, again, using numbers, let's say his battery power of 100 is down to the last 5% in the original, because he was on death's door. Maybe he's like at a 7 or an 8, so he's still on death's door, but he's got maybe a little bit more life to hang in there. And Naruto's just like freaking out. Well, not freaking out, but he's angry as hell. Just give Gaara back! Like, come and get me, Nine-Tailed Tornado Fist! Huh? Oh, holy crap! And it's like, rain over the frozen heaven, Hyōrinmaru! And it's what the? And all of a sudden, ice daggers are coming down. He's like, Sasuke helps Sakura and Chiyo. I'll help Naruto. And so, he goes off. Fortunately, yeah, Dandara's not making it very far. And here's the fun thing I thought of with the Tornado Fist, and just, starts making Tornado Fist. He basically drags Hyōrinmaru's ice blade over it, and all of a sudden there's just ice on his Tornado Fist. It's like ice style, blizzard or tornado blizzard. Ooh, tornado blizzard, or freezing blizzard, or freezing tornado, flash tornado. Think of a name for that. Combining the ice release of Hyōrinmaru with a Tornado Fist. Glacier Fist. Ooh, that's a good one. Glacial Fist. And all of a sudden, this time it's now freezing when it's freezing everything, and like the bird's wing just like, oh crap, and then it just shatters because of the sheer force, and the more ice just boom, 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 hitting it like just daggers. So the bird starts to immediately go down. And Naruto, grab Gaara. I've got Datara. Right, and just gets in there. Gaara, shing slices the tail. I believe it was the tail was kept. Anyway, slices where he was being kept. It's like Gaara. It's like, and he can be. He's still alive. He's still alive. Gaara, come on. Meanwhile, Kakashi isn't really trying to use Kamui on Datara. Because he didn't really need to charge it because he didn't need to catch it. So instead, he's got more than enough chakra to start wailing on Datara, including, again, it was the tracking hound lightning technique. That was always such a cool one. Just when the dog comes in, maybe even hits Datara. It's like, ah! And, he falls and he's like lands in the bush. Just and the clay bird falls. He gets out of the bush. Oh, son of a bitch! It's over. It's over. The only place for you is either prison or death. You mean prison and death? There's no way you guys would let me live. And he's just he's laughing, but he's also like they're also much closer to Sasori too, so if they need to, they can go back and help. But it's just this isn't good. Kakashi's this Jinchuriki's a problem. Kakashi's no slouch either. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Naruto is starting to let his anger creep in. It's like, and Hyōrinmaru's trying, Naruto, calm down, Naruto. Gaara's still alive. We still have time. Remember, calm down. And he just swipes his blades. And the influence of the fox is starting to come through a bit. And the dragon turns more like closer to a purple. And it's larger because of the excess chakras. And Data's, yeah! And unfortunately, this is where his other arm just gets tagged. Just gets taken out. Ow, mother! Ugh! There's a damn bone! Holy crap! Well, this doesn't seem to be doing me any favors. So then, I'll just say, so long. Art is, I need an explosion! And now they're like, oh, crap. And Kakashi really hasn't worked on Kamui yet. Or to use it that quickly. But Naruto puts up an ice wall. They have to do their best to avoid it. They get kind of beat up and messed up, but they're okay. And Naruto is able to calm down first. Kakashi has to use the seal on him. Should note, I think Jiraiya may have figured out a way in 3 years with the actual curse mark there. Because remember, they had that seal strip to actually reverse engineer a curse mark off of someone. So Anko probably doesn't have her curse mark now. He's probably figured out a way when they came back to be like, oh, where's Anko? I need to test this. And then she burns like hell, but it's gone. It's gone. And so, yeah. Because the curse mark is something that's very unique that Jiraiya, without actually having it available to look at it, has never been able to. And yes, obviously Anko and Sasuke both have one. We can assume maybe he looked at least Anko's, but without knowing the matrix, sealing matrix or whatever on there, because I would have to imagine that the seal, the slap on you seal that he got with the curse mark isn't just the curse mark like obviously the Tomai that the Heaven curse mark has. It's also like the seal matrix to allow it to actually seal. So with enough time, I think Jiraiya could have reverse engineered that and figured out how to remove a curse mark. Mind you, that's just my theory, and you might be saying, well, why didn't he ever remove anything in the series? There's only ever been 2 people with that specific curse mark. One then's Anko, who, as far as we know, he never looked at, but he might have. And plus, he might not have been the seal master he was back then. And then there's Sasuke, who he's really actually never had an interaction with. If you actually stop and think about it, that's very interesting. He has never had, except for when, hell, he didn't even, I think Sasuke just, I think the best I can say is Sasuke told him to stay out of it when Itachi was beating the hell out of him. I think that's it. Otherwise, they have never had an actual interaction with each other. Anyway, they try to make it back to Sasori. Meanwhile, Chiyo, Sasuke, and Sakura are doing their damnedest to fight off Sasori, which really actually wouldn't be as hard here because Sasuke's Sharingan would make up a huge difference. Lightning release channeling chakra through his blade will help cut chakra strings from Sasori. He's got probably all 5 chakra elements down. Well, down. He has jutsu from all 5 chakra elements. Whether he's got them down or not, he's a master of fire and lightning, and he's probably got some wind, water, and earth thanks to his Sharingan, which means he can create the barrier defenses, do other counterattacks. It really wouldn't be that hard to think that he could do that. Hell, he could maybe, if he tries hard enough, channel chakra through the ninja string, because it's chakra. So in theory, if he can just infuse chakra into those strings, he can direct it back to the source. Maybe figuring out how to do lightning chakra through the entirety of the strings. In fact, what would most likely happen is he does the 100 puppets, and Sasuke basically, throws his sword in the center. Turns out there's ninja wire on, almost like a spider's web, kind of in the arena. And Sasuke's like, it's very difficult to move around it. What's going on? And then Sasuke just hops down. This guy's Chidori. And it's like, ninja art, Chidori web. And then even Sasori, who doesn't normally can't really feel pain, he's like, because he's still got his core. As far as we know, that's most likely his brain and heart. Whatever that, that's a very good question. What do you think was in that core? We know it's the only living thing that's him. And he is conscious, he has a consciousness, which you would assume means his brain, but it's only this big, roughly, and so unless his brain has been molded into a different shape, which I guess is possible, it's Ninja World, anything's possible, ninja magic. I don't know. Anyway, Sasori dies, gives the information about Orochimaru's spy. Chiyo gets her life. They mourn her. Gaara is saved. And all's well that ends well. Kakashi is still around. No reason to, I think we're here. No reason to, get Tenzo involved right now. They wouldn't send Team 7 on that mission because there's no point in them doing it. The Yambu who go on that mission would get slaughtered, so hooray. And really, we'd be fast-forwarding more to the Hidan and Kakuzu stuff. But we'll talk about that more later on. Right now, Naruto hasn't shown off a lot of what he normally can do, but we're not into any of the big battles yet for Naruto. Even that Gaara retrieval arc was not really a big battle Naruto was in. Hell, even Kakuzu's not a really big battle. It's not until you get more towards the pain stuff and the war arc stuff that you would be seeing more of his true power, the Bankai, all that. Which, yes, I've clearly pointed out that he does have his Bankai at this point. At least the incomplete part. When will the complete one show up? I have my idea for that. Don't worry. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.